welcome you to GA's second ever game of the week. We bring you to Carey Stadium at GA in Fort Washington, Pennsylvania. Today we got some boys soccer action as the Hun School Princeton takes on the Germantown Academy Patriots. My name is Corey Miller here alongside Michael Von Zubin up in the booth at Carey Stadium. Before we get things kicked off here in a few minutes, we're going to take a look at GA's head coach, Kurt Wetzel. He's been at GA for a long time, was actually an '88 graduate of the school before he went on to college. Has coached at GA along with teaching since he came back in the early 2000s. He's coached various teams here at GA, including an assistant coach as part of the boys varsity team and head JV coach. This will be his fourth season as head coach here at GA. Took over in 2018. Last year, a limited season for GA, but he and the Patriots looking to get back to a full regular season length, and both of these teams looking to get to it for the first game of the year. Corey Miller here along with Mike Von Zubin. Mike, looking forward to it today. Got anything to add?
Absolutely, Corey. Beautiful day for soccer today. Got a chance to watch this Germantown Academy Patriots team last year during what was obviously and unfortunately a COVID-shortened season. They look good. They built momentum every single game that they played. So I'm really excited to see if they can take that, what they started last year, bring it to today's game, season opener. Good crowd. Should be a lot of people here. Beautiful day. It should be awesome. I'm ready.
Absolutely. Couldn't say it better. GA finished 2-1 last year. Wins against Episcopal Academy and Penn Charter on GAPC Day last year. The only loss coming to Springside Chestnut Hill Academy, the abbreviated 3-game Interact season due to the COVID pandemic. GA taking the field now. For the opponent, Hun School. Finished 1-5 last year, played 6 total games. The one win coming against Life Center Academy, a game in which they won 2-0.
Yeah, Corey, that's the thing. I mean, last year COVID shortened everything. You never really know with any of these teams' record. It doesn't really say a lot at this point for me. I think every team's kind of starting fresh this year. You can't really judge much of what anyone did last year, COVID shortened year, and so I think this should be a good one. 2 really good teams today.
Coach Wetzel has pointed that out many times before, saying just how competitive the Interact is each and every year. In the last full season they had, GA finished 11-8-2 overall with a 4-6 league record. Beautiful day here at Carey Stadium. It is a little breezy, but we will be taking you through the 2 40-minute halves as we are just minutes away from action.
And Corey, it's awesome to see here. You probably can't see it on camera, but we actually have some fans at Carey Stadium once. It's been a while since I've seen some guys down there, so it's just really great to see. It should be a pretty good atmosphere here today for the home opener.
It indeed has been a long time since there are any GA super fans here in the stands at Carey Stadium. None last year due to COVID, so this is one of the first times that super fans have been able to be back and cheer on their teams. Both of these teams just about set. We'll go over starting lineups in just a second. GA is going to be led by their 3 captains today. Just elected yesterday, Christian Combs, Sean Lipschitz, and Connor Wetzel, all 3 seniors. All fantastic players that have been really tenured with this GA team since they arrived. As we are just about set for play here on this Friday at Carey Stadium, second ever GA game of the week. Hun School will get the tap first. It'll be Masferducci, the forward, who will send it back. He's out there with Aiden Isbree and the goalkeeper, Ozzy Batsiziuglu, AJ Torres, John Balian, Joey Boucher, Hector Surreal, William Zhang, Tyler Stark, and Connor Frickholm as we are officially underway here today. Hun will start by playing it back to their keeper, Isbrian, the senior goaltender, as GA right away pressuring Hun in the offensive zone. Ball heads out of bounds, and it's an early GA corner.
Yeah, you see right away there, Corey, phenomenal pressure by GA. They're 3 attacking men, Lipschitz, Combs, along with Benziali, phenomenal players, extremely dynamic, and you're going to see that high press all game if you were to ask me. I think that should be a trend, especially as their season continues.
Here comes the corner. It's playing ahead, got on it by GA. Hun punches it back out for Leon. He was able to deke a man out there, and now he pumps the brakes and will set things back up. Hun looks to capitalize on a loose ball, and they'll slow things down as they send it back to the defense. Early possession so far today. Both of these teams said they're going to try to work things through the defense today. Hun got the opening tap. They did just that. Early pressure from GA as we are along the far sideline here. As it is a GA throw. Hun got a foot on it. It was sent back in by Jack Strauss, GA midfielder, and sent forward. Hun will play it back to the goalkeeper, as they battle for it in the middle of the field, and it's sent back up by Hun. First game this season for both of these two teams. GA was 0-1-1 in the 2 scrimmages they played, a loss to LaSalle, and they tied Archbishop Bryan. As Hun moves it into the offensive territory, that was cleared out by Jacob Lee, one of the defensemen, senior leaders on this GA squad.
Yep, Jacob Lee, 4-year starter for the Patriots. He's been on varsity all 4 years so far, so he's going to look to take his experience into this game, and I'm excited to see what he does.
Lee and Combs, 2 of the 4-year tenured seniors on this team. Lee's doing it in the backfield, and Combs will be up top. It's been a dangerous threat ever since he started here his freshman year. Both of his brothers came through the GA program here. So the third Combs to be a great GA player here at Germantown Academy. Again, Hun trying to find penetrations in this GA defense. They work it into GA territory. Lee couldn't slow his man down as they move in. It's going to be Rabner towards the outside, forced a nice steal. And now it's GA controlling the ball. They'll send it all the way forward, but play is offsides. And it'll be a Hun school kick.
Yeah, Corey, you mentioned number 14 on the Patriots, Christian Combs. I actually had the pleasure of playing with him before, and it's interesting. He actually used to be a defender, so it makes everything that he's doing up top, his dynamic play, it just makes it all that more impressive the way he was able to seamlessly transition to this new role, and he does it better than anyone I've seen play.
You see him there, passing it off along the sideline. Harrington's going to try to get it back to him, and you see the speed from Combs as the ball is squirted out of bounds.
His nickname on the Patriots is, I believe, the Honey Badger, given to him by Coach Mike Torrey. Just speaks to his tenacity on the field, and I'm sure we'll see some of that come out today.
Absolutely. He couples both speed and physicality. At a guy who's only about 5'9", can really win a lot of 50-50 battles with his great speed. It's going to be Strauss booting one ahead. Lipschitz will play it further for a charging Leon. It's a foot race and player taken down, and we're going to get a whistle. Hun will get a free kick. That was Colin Leon, the GA player in chase there. Primary position at attacking mid. He's a very fast player, a 5-minute, 15-second mile. Hun gaining separation at midfield. They're going to take it in, send it in deep, and the ball will squirt out of bounds.
See there a little bit of a gap right there in between GA's midfield and their defense. So, I've seen, this attacking midfield for Hun so far has been able to pick up that spot in the middle there, and someone's got to pick him up and try to shore up that gap. That'll make defending during this game a lot easier for GA.
You're going to notice that Josh Bouchard is the goalie today. He is just a freshman keeper. JoJo Cava, the regular starters, dealt with some injuries this past week, so they're going with Bouch here today, making his first ever varsity start. As Wetzel punched one up. Here's Hun, though, playing it in the middle. That one went through everyone as they battle for it now along the far sideline. It's Lipschitz now, the F&M committee's going to punch it up further. That went right to the Hun defense as they regain possession and work it to the near sideline. John Ballion played it back in the center as that ball last touched Eli Torrey, the GA midfielder, and it's a Hun throw. Nothing here today. It's just about 6 minutes into this game. Corey Miller here along with Michael Von Zubin. Not too many chances so far today. It's been a fairly fast-paced game. Both of these teams, though, love to play through their defense. The ball headed up here to Combs. Play is on sides as Combs sprints in with it, slows it down. He's going to maneuver his way in, fire a shot, and a diving stop by the goalie, Aiden Isbrian.
Phenomenal ball there from center back Jacob Lee. We were talking about him earlier. His experience clearly shows it right there. Picks his head up with the ball at his feet and plays a beautiful ball to Combs, who, as you saw, created good space for himself and was able to get a shot off.
GA really likes who they have at the center back positions. Connor Wetzel, Jacob Lee, both tenured seniors. Wetzel just coming back from surgery on both of his calves, so we're unsure how long he will play today, but he's been in to start for the first 7 minutes. He tapped it over to Lee there. He's going to play it to Strauss in the middle. It goes back to Wetzel. Finding the dangerous Combs there. MVP of the GAPC Day match 2 years ago. First team All-Interact selection. He finds Leon. Pass intended for Lipschitz was booted back out. Lee will send it back in further. A nice chest by Hun School as they battle Combs for possession. It's Torrey in the middle. He was taken down. They play on, though. And now Hun's going to send one up. Wetzel saw that one coming. Tackled from behind. He was able to get it off, though. Wetzel, another All-Interact selection on this GA team. No relation to head coach Kurt Wetzel, but he's made a big impact since coming over his freshman year, solidifying this defensive position. Slide tackle attempt on Combs. He maintained possession. He's going to send it into the box. Jay couldn't get a foot on it. And Leon will put it back in. No one is there. And eventually Hun School will clear it out of bounds.
I can assure you, you'll be seeing a lot more of that from Combs, not just this game, but this season, making people miss, making them look silly. Just incredibly dynamic on the ball. When I used to play with him, he made me look just like that quite a few times. Not a great feeling as a
not
defender.
At all. He's been doing it since his freshman year. Sends one in. But nothing doing for GA. They get it right back. Torrey, a boot just over the high crossbar and out of bounds. I mean, Combs was a guy who was a second-team All-Interact selection his freshman year. And just going back and reading articles, he was a guy who opposing teams marked since his freshman year, knowing how dangerous he is at the forward position.
Absolutely.
And GA loves the speed he and Lipschitz bring on either side. Combs on the near side here and Lipschitz on the far side. After some constant GA pressure here, they're going to get it right back. That's Christian Combs in the middle is going to send a through ball that evaded everyone and heads back out of bounds.
Still phenomenal pressure from GA so far all game long. The Hun defenders and midfielders, probably about half a second each time they touch the ball to pick their head up and make a decision, which is exactly what you want so far. So I think Coach Wetzel should be proud of what his team's doing on the offensive side of the ball so far, continuing to pressure and make them make harder decisions with the ball at their feet.
GA is playing a 4-2-3-1 formation today with 3 attacking mids. 2 defensive mids and 1 forward. Joe Boucher moving up with it for Hun School. He's going to send it across, and GA gets it right back. Lee's going to be pressured. He lost the ball, but it went right back to Bouchard, who took care of business. So 3 out of the 4 starting backs for GA today are seniors. Right to left, it's Brett Ravener, Jacob Lee, Connor Wetzel, and Rowan Harrington. The one exception, he is a sophomore, making his first varsity start at the left back position.
Yeah, got to feel extremely good for him. I mean, Coach Wetzel, because of COVID, probably didn't really get to see him as much even in practice last year. And so he's probably only been able to evaluate him a couple times this year. So, got to feel really good for him to know that his coach already trusts him to start here at left back in that first game with what's, a very experienced back line for GA.
Absolutely. It was a common theme when Wetzel first took over as head coach in 2018 about the youngness of the GA teams. They finished 3-14-2 under his first season overall, and that's because they had so many young pieces, but over the last 2 seasons, those great young pieces have really matured, and GA's improved every year since Wetzel took over.
Yep. You may get criticism from that as a head coach, and he obviously did, but you're going to see the fruits of that labor, and hopefully it's really going to pay off for them now, because every single one of these guys has got varsity experience, and that's huge. Playing, obviously this is not an interact game, but once you get to the interact, that I can't tell you how much that will help them.
Wetzel said the goals for the team are to simply improve from their previous best under him, so that means doing better than a 4-6 mark in the interact and getting past second round, excuse me. They have won one game under Wetzel at States. That was a few years ago, but looking to make a deep run this year. That goal shared by every single member of this varsity team. Wetzel said his guys are extremely hungry. Again, this is the first game they've played in about a week and a half. First game that matters too. Ball played through. Bush is going to jump out to make the grab here. Looking very comfortable, the freshman netminder so far today.
Yeah, it was good for this entire team. I think last week they were able to go up to LaSalle and play a game. LaSalle obviously state champions last year, won the Catholic League last year, and they played very well. I was at that game. They were able to take on the LaSalle starters very well. They went up a goal on them, and so I think that's that should be a huge confidence boost for them, playing a good team like that. Before going into league play and going into the start of the regular season.
LaSalle, an elite team again this year, so far ranked number 2 in the state by Max Preps, and it was tied 1-1 at halftime, and that's when GA had to put in some of their younger guys, make sure everyone got some playing time in since it was only a scrimmage. That's when LaSalle scored the go-ahead 2 goals. But when GA starters were in, they looked quite good. As it transitions to a Hunt throw along the far sideline. In their road white uniforms, GA in the home reds. A lot of experience for this unschooled team as well, only playing 6 games last year. They didn't get to go through and progress their whole game as they would have liked to in a normal season, but just thankful they were able to play it all.
Yep. That's the deal with every sports team this year, just hoping and praying that it doesn't end up like last year. I know me as a baseball player, we went through last spring just every day, just happy to be out there and appreciative of the opportunity. So I'm sure, these guys out there, they're thinking the same thing right now.
It is just astonishing that combined these 2 teams played 9 games last year. That's basically short of half of a normal season. That is Venziali in pursuit of the ball that heads out of the back line there.
Another young piece of this offense, Nick Venziali Jr. Got some good experience in the few games that they played last year. Scored a couple goals, looked really good, and so I'm sure he was an easy plug into this lineup for Coach Wetzel today.
Had a goal versus Episcopal last year, and 3 of the guys that were looking terrific at practice yesterday were 3 of these attacking players for GA: Lipschitz, Combs, and Venziali. All of them scoring goals in that scrimmage, the inter-squad scrimmage they had yesterday at practice. So last time Hunt played a full season was 2019, finished with a 6-10-3 overall record. And like I said, they just wished last year they had more time to develop a new possession-oriented style and find the best lineup combinations. You're kind of seeing that possession-oriented style on display so far here today. As it's Lee busting through to intercept the pass. His pass then was blocked out by the Hunt School, and it's Wetzel sending it to the far sideline. Lipschitz was able to keep it in as Hunt School turns it around, but he's going to get it right back. Lipschitz won the MVP of the GAPC Day match last year.
Yeah, Lipschitz a player he's really brought himself up the ranks well here at GA. He was on JV freshman year, and immediately when he came in sophomore year, Coach Wetzel loved everything he saw about him as a dynamic midfielder, great passer, great vision, and he's just continued to improve as his GA career has gone on.
Absolutely, as Combs gets through, but Isbrian was able to gobble that one up. Yeah, that vision was on display throughout the season so far for Lipschitz. Can seemingly find a hole through any defense at any point in time. Harrington moves up with it, and he'll take this one at midfield. He's going to punch it forward in the middle. That's Venziali, but it was kicked away by the Hun School.
Great combination play there from Harrington to Venziali. It's phenomenal to see, especially your outside backs getting up into the attack. That's something that I believe every team needs. If you don't have that outside threat, that unexpected threat, the extra support up there, it's very hard to keep possession and score goals in the attacking third. So it's really good to see that there from Harrington.
Some aggressive play from the GA back so far. Leon, with lots of speed. Ducks one in. A shot here goes well wide as Lipschitz will chase after it. Ball still in bounds. He's going to send one back in. That was nullified by the chest of the Hun School. As the ball is still in bounds, Hun School looking for an opportunity now. GA able to get the steal as it's moved up here, but we got a offsides whistle call on Venziali.
Yeah, good thought up there by Venziali. Just a couple times he's had a couple good runs. Just got to hold himself for maybe a second longer, and he'll be right on there, and he'll be in on goal.
Dangerous forwards here for Hun today. You see Joey Boucher on the near side, number 5. They have 3 so far up there today. Still 0-0 here with 22 minutes left to play in this first half. Nice job by Wetzel to fight through the physical play, and he drew a whistle. Again, we'll see how much longer Coach Wetzel wants to leave him in the game. First game back since his injury. Definitely talked about practice yesterday, budgeting his time. Probably not going to play all 80 minutes today. As Strauss comes away with it at midfield, he's going to turn back looking for help. And it's Harrington stepping up with it now. Right back to Strauss, but that was out of his reach. And Hun School will retreat to get it.
Yeah, you mentioned Wetzel's injury. I mean, incredibly impressive that he's been able to get back as quick as he has. I mean, having surgery on something like that, it's, not an easy road back to the field. And so, I think he surprised a lot of people when he came back this quickly. But GA is certainly not complaining. He is their rock back there. He's someone they absolutely need.
He was the team MVP 2 years ago. Opportunity for GA, and it's off the crossbar. Ball is still loose as Combs heads it forward. He's still got it in the box. He'll turn to the outside with it, looking to send it back in. An early opportunity here for GA. Combs got it to Leon, who puts one in net, and a nice leaping grab by Aiden Isbrian. So our best 2 chances of the game so far, Michael.
Great hit from Lipschitz right there. Just need to lean over that ball a little bit more, and he would have had it. Would have roofed it right in the top of the net.
Like we said, he's committed to Franklin Marshall College to continue his soccer career there. Most often playing the wing position for both GA and his club team. Physical play here in GA's half of the field. And finally, GA is able to come away with it. Torrey getting pressure from behind, and he's going to get the foul call right there.
Excellent job from Torrey right there. You lose the ball, sprints his butt off to get it back, and every coach will love that. That's how you get minutes in soccer. You gotta, if you lose the ball, you always go and get it back, and that's exactly what we did right there. Great tackle, thwarted the counterattack for Hun.
Despite being only a junior, Torrey's been a really great leader. You got a lot of those on this GA team, including their 3 captains. As they're maintaining possession here, trying to find Lipschitz. Hun saw that along the far sideline. Ravener stepped up as he has it here, and it's now Jacob Lee. going to try and send a through ball to Spring Venziale, but that ended up trickling to Aiden Isbrian. Isbrian says he's worked really hard to get where he is as the starting netminder for Hun School. Was the backup last year, and coming into the season, he said he wasn't sure if he was going to make the team. But he's worked extremely hard. First year as a starter, as a senior, and he's done a really great job so far today, snaring a few GA opportunities.
Right.
19 minutes left to play in this first half. Still tied up at nothing. GA is, for the most part, taking control of the game. They've had some early offensive opportunities, but Hun School's done a nice job defensively. They've had the ball in GA's half a decent amount as well.
Yeah, I mean, you can live with that as a coach. I mean, you know, the ball's been in, you know, GA's half a bunch, like you said, but, you know, if your back line's stepping up well, you're communicating well, you're keeping them away from the frame of goal, I mean, you can live with that as a coach, especially if, you know, like GA is, they're producing their own offensive chances. But, you know, obviously, you don't want too much play in your end, so hopefully that's something they can clean up just a little bit for the second half.
Certainly a lot of experience on this Hun School team as well. 7 seniors, 5 juniors, and 3 sophomores. Neither team comes in with a freshman on their roster here today. And head coach Quirk of Hun School has said that every single one of his guys have played varsity minutes over the past few seasons, so definitely an experienced team. That's Jacob Lee on the clear attempt. Lipschitz finds the loose ball. He's got an opportunity here. He's going to center it. Hun School got that, and then they'll clear it away. Dangerous chance for Lipschitz and the Patriots. Still looking to get ahead with under 18 minutes left to play.
Yeah, a bit of an interesting decision there by Lipschitz to give up the shot there. I mean, he's such a good finisher. So, you know, obviously good to see the unselfish play from Lipschitz, but, you know, maybe you'd like to see him shoot that next time. He's got to trust his foot. He's a very accurate shooter.
It is really great to have finishers like Venziale, Lipschitz, and Combs leading your team.
Yeah, you don't get very many chances in this game to score, and so, you know, when you get them, you gotta put them away. So absolutely, it's just you absolutely need players like that you can just trust when they get the ball in those types of areas, they're gonna finish.
Mass Verducci sends one across, but no one's there for Hun School, and GA will get the throw in. Verducci's a member of the Captain's Council for Hun. He is the central striker, and his coach has said he's worked hard to become a hold-up player who can distribute the ball and also shoot as well. Certainly a lot of big players for Hun School today. GA not a huge team, but Coach Wetzel talked about that. He said if they can play their game and do really well in the passing aspect of it and beat them with their speed, then they'll be all right being outsized here today.
Absolutely. If you keep possession, you know, as an ex-player, when the other team's running circles around you, keeping possession, constant passes, I mean, it doesn't matter how big you are. If you can't get a body on them, you know, nothing's going to matter, and that's the way this GA team looks to play. So if they're able to do that, you know, should be just fine.
For a team that is looking to win their first Interact title in 12 years. Actually had the second longest Interact title drought besides Episcopal, the last one in the mid-90s. Interact's been dominated by Haverford and SCH the past 2 years, who've won a lot of state titles as well.
Yeah, and I mean, boy, would they love that, especially, you know, for these seniors. They've just, you know, seniors have been through a lot, you know, the past couple of years with COVID and, you know, not getting probably the full experience that they would want at Germantown Academy in this soccer program. So, you know, obviously you'd love to see it for everyone, but especially for them.
It is always a difficult task given how competitive the Interact is. And Coach Wetzel has told his team, despite how talented they might be, to not take any game for granted. And he always gives the example of how a few years ago in his first year as head coach that GA was one of the worst teams. The Interac Episcopal was one of the best, and Episcopal was in first place, but in a game against Episcopal, GA forced overtime and eventually forced a tie. And that kind of got to Episcopal, who ended up losing the Interac on the final day of the season. So anything can happen in the Interac for boys soccer.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the way it is with every sport. You know, I mean, around the Interac. I mean, you know, skill. Obviously, you can have whatever you want on paper, but every game is going to be a grind. Every game is going to be competitive, and you just never know.
Lee took care of the through attempt for Hunt School there. They'll get the throw in along the far sideline. Haven't seen a ton of substitutions so far today.
It's also important to note Tyler Weiss, who started for Germantown Academy last year at the center back position. Yeah, he's actually out with a little bit of a sickness right now, so he normally probably would be out there, but just not today.
Weiss, a dangerous defender who can also get involved in the rush. He's made the Olympic Development Program state team several years, 4 to be exact, dating back all the way to 2017. In this past spring season, he had 14 goals for his club team, PA Dominion. He is not here today, as Michael mentioned, so Harrington getting this started, left back. Loose ball trickles out to Torrey, and he gets it right back from Combs, and he does a nice job to kick it off to Harrington, who will send it up, hoping to spring Venziale. Physical play, he's going to get through, but we have a whistle beforehand, and that's a call against Venziale and the Patriots.
Interesting call right there, I have to say. I mean, Venziale seemed to maneuver around that defender on his own, not using too many arms, and it looked like, to me, he might have been the one that got fouled, but...
Yeah, definitely physical play so far on those through balls, trying to get to them ahead of the defender. And it has been a physical game so far. 12 minutes left to play in the first half, still knotted up at 0. GA almost went ahead a few minutes ago with a ball off the crossbar by Sean Lipschitz. He's had a few opportunities here today. As along the far sideline there, it looks like Ryan Zepkowski just into the game for the Patriots. He works it back, and a ball played all the way across to the far sideline in hope of Christian Combs. Fending off his man, he's going to work it back to Harrington with room on the ground and cleared out by Hunt.
Right idea there from Harrington. It's a well-placed ball, just want to get it up in the air maybe a little bit.
GA's definitely had several centering attempts as the shot here goes wide. Hunt's defense has done a nice job to nullify most crossing attempts here today.
Yeah, that is one area that size will help you. I know I said earlier, you know, size doesn't usually matter in soccer, but, you know, heading balls, getting balls out of your own box is imperative. So it's always good to have a little height back there in the back line.
Isbrian will send it out. First year starter for this Hun team. They play on as the man is still down at midfield as offsides is called. Looks like everyone's okay as Hun plays on. It was John Ballion along the near sideline, shove on Combs, and that draws a whistle. And GA will once again work it through their defense. 10 minutes left to play in this first half. GA not at all worried about getting a ton of goals per se. Wetzel has definitely emphasized the importance of their defense at practice, and he's even said he's got all the confidence in Josh Bouchard in net, but he doesn't want any balls even reaching him. That's how well he wants his defense to play.
Yep, great mentality to have as a coach. That's, that's exactly what you should be telling your guys. No shots, step up whenever you can to block a shot, block a cross, do whatever you can to get your body in the way of any ball that's going anywhere near the net.
As it is Lipschitz, a nice kick in the box here and a leaping grab by Isbreen, who went up the ladder to haul it in. As Lipschitz again, physical play along the far sideline. He couldn't come up with the ball, and Hun moves ahead. And they're still playing on despite a man being taken down right there at the 40. So referees letting everyone play on. Venzielli ahead, a shot is saved by Isbrien.
Yeah, you see there, goalkeeper right there. He takes up a lot of the net. A big keeper. It's tough as a finisher. Solid shot by Venzielli. Hit it well. Just got to find a corner, but no easy task with a man of his stature in goal.
Isbrien, a member of the Captain's Council. Coach Quirk mentions his hard work to get to where he is as the first-year starter. It'll be a Hun throw in GA territory here.
Yeah, you see jogging on to Harrington's left back spot is brother of Jacob Lee, Jordan Lee, so it should be interesting to see this partnership back there now.
Jordan Lee, another talented back for this GA group. And we were wondering how many people off the bench we'd see from both of these teams. Ryan Zepkowski has gotten some minutes so far today. Jordan Lee into the game. Lipschitz chasing far sideline, couldn't keep it in bounds though.
Impressed so far by just the composure of the GA backline. Hun they seem like a pretty dynamic team, and just the ability to not just boot the ball up, not boot it away when they're under pressure. The ability to just take a touch, relax, and find the open man. It really helps your attack to build up. So I've been impressed with that so far.
Well, it's one of their first games since last year, testing out this new possession-oriented style. And Coach Quirk said that was initiated by the players who wanted to possess the ball more than they did last year. And it's worked pretty well so far. GA's led in time of possession so far today, but Hun School certainly had their chances. Another through ball from Lee. It's the speed of Combs in the GA territory, working his man over for a shot. He scores! Christian Combs, Captain Clutch. He comes up clutch to put the Patriots up by 1 with just over 6 minutes left to play in this first half.
Yeah, phenomenal job there on both ends. Just Jacob Lee with an absolute peach of a ball, and then Combs, the ability to just settle it, relax, turn, and just hit an absolute roof into the top corner. Well done right there by the Patriots.
And beautiful ball from Combs. And can't forget about the beautiful through ball by Jacob Lee there. You found Combs, who basically took care of his defender all by his own. Ballion did a great job to defend Combs, but any opening you give Christian Combs, he's going to take advantage of it.
Yep, phenomenal shot. No chance for the keeper on that one. Right into the top corner.
It's been one of the most prolific forces in the Interact since he came up as a freshman as we approach the 6-minute mark. Ball squirts right back to Combs, and he'll send it forward. Both sides in pursuit. Isbrien's going to come all the way out to punch it out of bounds.
Yeah, go back to the ball by Lee. I mean, he's done great work back there so far. I've seen him, do both. He's done well with the long ball as well as the short ball, able to take a touch and play it short when he needs to, but then also, if he doesn't have an option, he's been phenomenal just picking up his head and accurately finding, the open man. It's one thing to recognize the open man and pick your head up. It's quite another to be able to actually put that ball right where it needs to be.
GA certainly emphasized just getting rid of the ball on the back end if you have no other options. That time was a direct pass from Jacob Lee, though, and he couldn't have put it on the money any better than that. Doesn't look like GA's quite finished, though, as they hold on to the ball in Hun territory. It is Lipschitz, a high looming kick, looking for Combs. He got a head on it, and it's going to trickle across to Hun School for an opportunity. That is punched high by GA.
Tough shot there, but the outside of the foot, but it wasn't too far off.
That was Ryan Zepkowski, sophomore midfielder who's entered the game a few minutes ago. His brother Brendan has been a tenured member of this varsity team. Not playing today. He's battled some injuries, but hopefully he will be back next week for GA. His brother Ryan, though, has gotten some early opportunities. That's Lee again on the clear. He's looking for Combs, who was able to squirm free, but he couldn't get in between the two Hun bodies. Physicality there. Combs a shot, a diving save. Leone tries to put it back with the head, but that one was picked up by Isbrian.
Combs almost put it right back in the same spot.
I mean, it is just automatic with him. As soon as he gets the ball, it's off his foot. It looked like that was kind of a nothing chance, but he turned it into something.
Absolutely. It's so valuable to have a guy that, even if you're not scoring, you're putting the ball on net and forcing keepers to make a save, because it produces rebounds like that and opportunities like that, such as the one that just fell to Lipschitz.
Well, the other thing I love about Christian Combs, Michael, is that when you watch the game, you're going to see him all over the field.
Absolutely. He does not stay stationary in his one position, and that's something that, every coach wants a player like that. He's able to tackle, he's able to work back on balls, and he's able to pass balls, pick his head up when he needs to, and obviously you saw there the finishing is off the charts.
One of just two freshmen who started here, one of two seniors who started their freshman year. Combs and Wetzel Lee was on the roster as well. A lot of these seniors could have made it their freshman year, but like you said, Michael, they really developed nicely on the JV level, and GA's really matured over the past few years under Wetzel, looking to have a deep run so far this year. As Zepkowski and Torrey play catch, Torrey was taken down from behind, and now as he plays it on the ground, we have a whistle.
Yeah, you mentioned the development. I mean, Coach Wetzel has his varsity team practice with his JV team sometimes. So, he's not just building a team, but building a program is the way, that many people put it. And you're seeing it here. I mean, great chemistry from guys that this is their first varsity game, and with guys that have been on this team for 3 years.
The word Wetzel used to describe his team is hungry. He said seniors through sophomores, everyone on the roster is just hungry. And they want to win an Interact title. SCH or Haverford have won 7 of the last 8, so it's certainly an ambitious goal, but they know they're certainly capable of it if they play to those capabilities. Lipschitz sent it through. Hunt was able to take clear of that free kick there. Zepkowski punched it forward as Isbrian comes out to get a handle on the ball. As we tick down to just 2 minutes in this first half, GA leading by 1. The fantastic goal by senior captain Christian Combs.
Yeah, I love what I'm seeing here. Not just parking the bus before halftime, looking to get in there with a lead, but just continuing to press up the field and trying to get another goal here.
I mean, Wetzel has said that they're not taking any game for granted this year as Leone comes back in for GA. But he's also said that their skill has surprised many teams and players. He noted that LaSalle, the number 2 team in the state, commented after their scrimmage a few weeks ago just how surprised they were by GA's skill. But they know that they have to take all these games seriously. It's the first regular season game for both of these teams. Hun feeling the same way, that they've got a lot to prove as well. Lipschitz starts it up along the far sideline. Combs is wide open, able to chest that one down. He couldn't get the shot off. And a bullet here by GA goes wide. As the clock works down to under a minute here. Final 45 seconds. We'll see if Hunt can get anything. Maybe tie things up, at least try to swing some momentum as they try to head into the second half on a positive note. Nice header by Leon. Final 30 seconds. Hunt's going to play it forward. Looking to spring it forward. It's Jacob Lee back there. He couldn't get a handle on the ball. Nice job by Brett Rabiner to step in. But Hun works it free. A possible opportunity here. Final 15 seconds. GA was able to take care of that rush, though, and Leon will send it all the way back up. As that should take us to the end of the first half. Final 2 seconds and 1. And the horn sounds. That is the end of the first period. So after some back and forth action, Christian Combs, the senior captain, gets GA on the board first here. They lead 1-0 at the end of the first half. about a minute away from second half action. GA leading 1-0 on the goal by Christian Combs. Before we start, going to get a look at the upcoming schedule for GA, as they're going to play the Westtown School, Germantown Friends, Lonsdale Catholic, and then the Lawrenceville School. So some good opponents, Mike, before they head into league action.
Yeah, really good tune-up games here for GA. Lawrenceville especially, always a solid opponent. I remember they played them back in 2018. Really good opponent. So obviously, these games are phenomenal tune-ups for what will be a very competitive interact season.
On also some non-league games before they get into league action. Playing in the Mid-Atlantic Prep Soccer League. They won that championship in the 2010-2011 season. They won the previous year as well. The Hill School has done really well in that conference over the last several years. Hun has won 5 Mid-Atlantic Prep Soccer Championships over the last several years, dating back to 1998-99, 5 total. And like we said, a 6-10-3 record 2019. They were able to advance to the state Prep A semifinals and the Mercer County Tournament quarterfinals. They did lose one of their top scorers, Amar Anad.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Hun does here. Obviously a very possession-oriented team, as we talked about in the first half. Down a goal now, obviously plenty of time left, but it'll be interesting to see do they press more, do they play the ball, more direct balls towards the goal, or do they stick with that more possession-oriented style of play? So we'll have to see what they do.
GA will have tap here in the second half, and GA's offense has done a great job, but Hun's defense has played very well, only allowing the 1 goal. And Coach Quirk has said how Aiden Isbrian, first varsity game as a starter, and he's been protected nicely by AJ Torres, John Ballian, Aiden Spector, Connor Frickholm, and Tyler Stark as some of the backs, the key backs for the Hun School here.
You notice here some of the subs that GA brought on are now starting the second half. You have Lee over at left back instead of Harrington. You have Zepkowski here in the middle.
So GA resting some of their starters. Lipschitz is still in here. He's got the ball right now to start things off for the second half. Christian Combs, the great goal to put GA on the board about midway through the first half. That's Rabner still back there here in the second half. Lee able to punch one out of bounds as we play our first 30 seconds here in the second half. Aiden Trabosh also in the game at the midfield position, sophomore midi. And that's Jake Cafferson at the forward position. He's also into the game.
Yeah, Trabosh is a highly talked about prospect when he came in as a freshman. Phenomenal player, phenomenal feet, really good on the ball. So it'll be fun to see him play alongside of some of these dynamic strikers like Combs and Benziali.
GA's got a deep bench and clearly not afraid to turn to it here, give some of their starters a rest. It is important to note that Combs and Lipschitz are still out there, though. As the ball squirts all the way back to Isbrian, he'll take care of that one. Leon with some physical play, another guy who's not of humongous height, but can certainly get physical to win 50-50 battles. He did that there, but Hun School has it now. Trying to through ball along the far side, Lee in pursuit. He'll get to his man, but he works free. He's going to center it in front for an opportunity, but that shot was muffed in front, and it comes all the way back out to Leon. Did a nice job, and he's awarded a free kick.
Yeah, phenomenal chance there for Hun. Beautiful cutback there by the outside midfielder. Great vision by him to pick out that back post run. Just unfortunately shanked the ball a bit, unable to get it on target.
Jersey numbers on Hun are a little hard to see in their road whites, but it's William Zhang, Mas Verducci, and Joey Bucheri, who are 3 of the forwards on this Hun School team. Coach Quirk notes how Chair is a total workhorse, as we mentioned before. He's good at distributing and shooting. And Mas Verducci's a guy who's certainly has some experience, has started. This is not his first year as a starter. He's gotten action previously. And he was a big forward for Hun last year as well.
Yeah, it looks like Coach Wetzel's going to continue to try to get some subs in. You see a couple of them warming up over there on the side, so it'll be interesting to see when he deploys them, how he decides to use them as the game goes on here.
Confident that his guys can maintain this 1-0 lead. Again, that goal coming from Christian Combs. A lot of great opportunities for GA though. Lipschitz had a few, one off the crossbar. As it's Zhang in the middle, tried to work it through the GA defense. It eventually squirted through as a Hun School player is taken down, and we'll see what the ref calls, and it's going to be a foul on GA.
Tough call there for Lee. I mean, I didn't get quite a good look at it to see if he hit him in the back, but looked pretty shoulder to shoulder to me, so bit of a tough call there, but you know, you got to be careful when you're going after guys in the box.
Yep. Foul on Lee, and now the penalty shot for the Hun School.
Big test right here for sophomore keeper Josh Bouchard. Good opportunity for him.
Can't quite tell who that is taking the shot, but like you said, Bouchard tested early on in this second half, first varsity start. How will he do against the penalty shot here? Looking to tie things up. As here comes the shot, and they score! So just like that, Hun ties it right back up. As we'll try to get you a name on the goal scorer who took the shot.
Well taken penalty right there. You know, obviously the best thing you can do on a penalty, just place it where it needs to be. You saw Bouchard guess right, but you know, as a keeper, it doesn't matter if he guessed right if the ball's placed as well as it was right there. So well done.
So it's 1-1, and the question is now, will Wetzel rethink sending in some of his subs with the game tied? Just under 36 minutes left to play in the second half. Hun trying to continue to apply pressure. Lee in pursuit there. And he's now going to turn to the outside. A nice job on defense. He gave it up, though. An opportunity for Hun School. They work it in, send it in the box, and they score again! This time it's William Zhang was in the right place at the right time on a beautiful centering attempt. A nice shot placed over Bouchard, and just like that, Hun is back-to-back goals in just over a minute, and now they lead 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of get an idea of what they're trying to do. Very similar opportunity there as the one that they missed a little earlier on in this half. And, you know, unfortunately for GA, they're able to put it away that time.
Zhang is another member of the Captain's Council on the Hun School team. As GA will tap things back, 35 and change left to play in the second half. Hun School now leading 2-1. Coach Quirk notes that Zhang likes to get behind players on the wing and score. He did just that there on a beautiful feed. That's who headed the ball here. GA looking to settle some things down. This looked like a clearly manageable game, up 1-0 heading into the half. They put some reserve players in off of the bench, try to give the starters a rest, and Hun quickly scores 2 goals. Another opportunity here, but the shot went just wide.
Yeah, right now GA's got to find a way to kind of organize themselves again at that back line. You know, the first half they looked very solid. They moved, you know, as a unit, but just some pretty wide open gaps now. Guys are getting caught out of position, so you know they got to find a way to clean that up quickly before this game gets a little too far out of hand.
And it's been unfortunate for Bouchard, who's had to contend with really two unsavable balls. First the penalty shot and then the beautiful finish from Zhang.
Yeah, for sure. As a keeper, I mean, the only thing you can really do on those two opportunities is just position yourself as well as possible. Take up as much of the goal as you possibly can. Cut down the angle, and he did that. But two well executed finishes by Hunt. So nothing he could really do there, like you said.
GA looking to strike back. Combs sent a through ball, but that trickles right to Isbrian. Wonder what was said at halftime for both of these teams, especially since it's the first regular season game for either of these teams, and it's going to be a much different season than what they experienced last year. Hunt obviously doing a nice job adjusting, because the first half of this game, it was pretty much dominated by GA, I'd say, Michael, but this second half, Hunt has really turned things around.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's almost reversed in the sense of who's applying more pressure on the defense and they're attacking third. I mean, GA, like we mentioned, you know, right off the tap in the first half, we're all over the Hunt defenders, but it seems that that momentum has kind of shifted here in the second half. So, you know, GA, if they want to get back to where they were, just find a way to get back on that offensive pressure, take a little more pressure off their backs right now, because, you know, those backs, it gets tiring back there. They probably need a little bit of a break. So try to gain a little more possession and press those Hunt defenders up a little higher.
Yeah, it seems like most, if not all, of GA's starters are back in the game. That was Strauss who was whistled down for the penalty. And Hunt will looking to take advantage. Here's, they'll send one in from just about the 40. About 32.5 minutes left to play. As a third goal here by Hunt could really put them in a comfortable spot, up by 2. Nice ball coming in on Bouchard. He tips it high. It's still in play as they kick it out towards the sideline. Lipschitz is trying to get there first, but it ultimately winds out of bounds.
Tough ball for Bouchard to handle right there. It's a tough decision as a keeper to decide whether you're going to tip that or catch it. Looked like he made the right decision there. It would have been hard to catch and secure.
He is looking into the sun as we have switched sides in the second half. Don't know if that affected him at all, but as you said, Michael, difficult ball, a beautiful kick from Hunt, another high throw, and that went over everyone, and a dangerous chance from Hunt School. A beautiful throw in there.
Yeah, no, cannot be falling asleep now if you're GA with those throw-ins. I mean, you expect something short and quick, but this guy's got a cannon into the box, so always got to be alert. Knowing where your man at all times is imperative with a guy like that who can just chuck a ball in the box from that far out.
And that eluded everyone on the GA front defensively, but thankfully it trickled out of bounds. It went right over Bouchard, who after a really easy first half has had to contend with a lot of chances for Hunt in the second half. As again, Hunt comes up with it, a shot, a diving stop by Bouchard to knock it out of play.
Really strong hand there for Bouchard, not an easy save to make. Goes to ground really well, moves really well. Great hand from him.
Well, and it just seems like that Hunt is either finding or has been given a lot more opportunities. They found several holes in this GA defense to get some shots off.
Yeah, I mean, now might be a time to, if you're Coach Wetzel, to maybe think about using a sub or two, not for, you know, a long time, but maybe just get some of these guys a rest, you know, a couple of these CDM players, because, you know, they're going to need these guys who are out there right now at the end of the game.
Wetzel's always emphasized how important it is to be in great shape on the varsity level here. The requirement to be on varsity is running a mile and 2 miles, but a lot of these guys have had to kind of work back into shape, some with injuries, and then also a lot of practices and games have been canceled over the last week, at least for GA, due to the storms that hit this area over the past week.
Absolutely. I mean, and, you know, most of these guys have been playing club all summer, you know, so this is not, you know, it's not their first game, you know, per se, but, you know, I mean, their legs aren't exactly fresh either, some of them. I mean, they've been playing tournaments and stuff all through the summer up until school season. So, you know, kind of after having that 2 weeks off and getting your first game under your legs back is sometimes not always the easiest thing. You tend to get a little tired sometimes. As
2 GA players go up for the head there, and it's going to wind up in favor of the Hun School as they send one in. Bouchard jumping up to poke it over the cage. He has certainly shown a lot of composure after suddenly being under constant attack by Hun here in the second half. Here with under 30 minutes left to play. So it is a corner for the Hun School. Another strong kick. It heads out to the far side. They were able to get a head on it, but it tipped off of a GA defender's leg, and they will send it out of bounds off of Hun School. So Hun looking to notch a possible Interac win if they can hold on right now against GA. Last time they played an Interac school was 2019 when they lost to SCH 5-3 and then tied Episcopal 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it could be one of the things for GA right now. They know this is a team that they never seen before, and they don't see a lot, and there's not a lot on them. You know, a lot of these Interac teams that they'll play, you know, Coach Wetzel, I'm sure he's gone over their style of play. They kind of sometimes know what to expect going in, but a completely different and new opponent here for them. So, you know, that could possibly explain a little bit of this pressure they're facing right here in the second half.
Yeah, GA certainly hasn't played Hun School recently. And after the 2019 season, both of the players on the all-league teams for Hun graduated, and they lost a great goal scorer last year along with their senior starting goalie. So it's definitely a new look Hun School team over the past few years, but certainly a dangerous, hungry, and potent one as they lead 2-1. As a huge throw in here for Hun School. GA took care of that on a head, and then a follow-up chance by Hun went out of the back.
Yeah, well done right there by number 4 on GA, Brett Radner. You know, not the biggest guy out there, but phenomenal job getting up in the air and getting that ball out. That was a big header right there.
Impressive headers today from Hun School. Rabiner there couldn't quite catch up to it as they look to spring Zhang along the far sideline. Lee's going to have to pinch in, but the through ball attempt will result in the GA 6. This isn't the only Interac game Hun will play this year. They will also play Episcopal and SCH, both away games for them. As Combs with a nice move.
Yeah, good to say his name again here in the second half. You want to see him start to get more involved because he's obviously, you know, when he's playing well, the entire offense is playing well. So good to see him with some touches on the ball right there. Yeah,
the names Venziali, Combs, and Lipschitz commonly heard in the first half. Not so much here in the second half. Rabiner, nice moves, trying to keep it in bounds, does a nice job. It squirts free to Lipschitz, moving up, sends it across into the box. His shot goes just wide.
Some cheeky play right there from Lipschitz. A beautiful composure to hold the ball up, stand his man up, and then just deliver a little chip right over the top of the back line. Almost found his man.
Looked like Strauss got the foot on that, sent it just high. The junior midfielder was a member of the varsity squad last year, played a big role in locking down the middle of the field, and he had an assist versus Episcopal, one of just 3 games GA played last year. Whistle blows here, a kick now for Hun, with a little under 30 minutes left to play. It'll be John Ballion who will send it down the field. The senior defender. Curling kick, Torrey saw that one. He punched it further along. Hun regains it and will send it forward as Wetzel steps up and sends it out of bounds.
Yeah, Connor Wetzel, phenomenal player to watch back there. Plays for the Ukrainian Nationals Club, well-known club. But, you know, if you're looking to get some defensive pointers, I mean, he's normally always in the right spot. He's winning balls, he's tackling, does a fantastic job back there.
As another nice throw-in, Wetzel was the one who got ahead on it. And those throw-ins have forced a lot of pressure on GA's half, and it'll set up a corner after Wetzel headed the ball out of bounds. Yeah, that was a big question coming into the game, just how long would Connor Wetzel play? First game back after his injury, but he's played a lot more than we thought he would. As it seems like the ball placement on the corner was not quite where the referee wanted, so they'll do it again. Here comes the corner again, live drawing kick, and it looked like Wetzel got ahead on it, forced it out to Leone. Looking for Venziali, it went under his foot in a throw-in for Hunt School.
And Wetzel came up a little bit limpy there. Hopefully he's all right. Doesn't have anything to do with that previous injury he had, but he looks to be walking it off, looks to be okay.
He did take a break at one point during the scrimmage GA played at practice yesterday, but he told us that he wanted to play as much as possible. Kick right to William Zhang from Bouchard. He's going to look to play it forward, and it bounces right to Bouch, who right away rolls it to Brett Ravener. Couldn't quite keep it in bounds on the pass to Lipschitz.
Yeah, you're okay there if you're Ravener with the ball. I mean, that's what you want out of the back when there's pressure. You know, try to find your man on the outside. Just Lipschitz unable to create the angle and get back.
Ballion set to take the throw for Hunt School. And it's going to roll right to Torrey. Looks to set up Combs. He got it right back on the chest. As GA looking to get an opportunity, they might have one breaking here. Lipschitz slows it down. He's going to work it back to Torrey. Maneuvers up. Nice move there. He's taken down. And we have a whistle. Torrey fires up the fans as he had some nice moves to bring it through. His feet were taken out from under him.
Absolutely phenomenal footwork right there by Torrey. He kept selling the shot, and as a defender, you're always bracing to see if that shot's going to come in so you can block it, but he just kept selling it, and eventually just too many people dove in and took him down, so well done there.
Our second penalty shot of the game. Hunt scored on their earlier opportunity to go up, tie things at 1. Torrey looking to knot things up at 2. The junior midfielder is set, trying to tie things up at 2. And the shot, he scores! Eli Torrey, first he draws the foul, and then he puts the ball in the back of the net. GA's tied things up at 2 with 22 minutes left to play in the second half.
Yeah, you appreciate that from Coach Wetzel there. I mean, normally, you'd probably see a guy like Combs or Lipschitz stepping up to take that, but, Torrey did the work to draw the foul, and, his coach had the belief in him to take it, so he lets him, get what he earned right there. So really, really good to see that, and a great finish from Torrey.
No hesitation at all from Eli Torrey on that last sequence. Got a nice pass from Lipschitz, was bringing it up into Hunt territory, and was taken down in the box. Both teams converting on their penalty shots here today. GA looking to grab some of that momentum back that they really had throughout the first half. Torrey getting the start at midfield today. Coach Wetzel's noted that all 10 starters today in front of Bouchard have played on varsity before. So despite losing several key seniors from last year, GA's confidence remains extremely high. And he even said that the mentality is not only not different from last year, but the team as a whole is actually more hungry than he thinks they were last year, and the mentality's gotten more intense.
Another huge throw coming here.
That's A.J. Torres, who's got a terrific throw. The ball was headed out, and it's going to force a corner.
Yeah, that throw's been causing all types of problems for GA so far. Even when they do get ahead on it, I mean, he just took a ball from 30 yards out from the net and produced them a corner, and that's that's extremely valuable to be able to do that from that far out.
Torres, another member of the Captain's Council, is a long throw threat. As Coach Quirk mentioned today, we've seen that several times coming up from his defensive position to take those throws. He also likes to attack down the wing. Possibly looking to play college soccer in the Centennial Conference. Here is Hunt on the corner. And no one really able to get anything on that. It'll be a GA6. So with 20 minutes left in this second half, big question will be, as it may be a starter-dominated game throughout the rest of this half, who will be able to maintain higher endurance, who won't tire out as quickly, as both teams keeping their starters in, tied at 2.
Yeah, you definitely just don't want to see GA. You've noticed a little bit here, they're starting to force the ball up the field a little more. You don't want to see them do that just yet. They still have plenty of time to keep some possession here and try to produce a goal.
See you last touch, it looked like GA did, so another corner for Hun. Tell you, a lot of these corners have been set up by A.J. Torres, who has just had terrific throw-ins. Has gotten it right in the box and forced GA to kick it out of bounds and force these corners. Here comes the kick. It eludes everyone, bounces right to Bouchard, but he was able to see that one all the way. He rolled it to Rabiner, who banged it out of bounds.
Yeah, little fatigue maybe starting to set in here for GA. Hopefully, we'll see if Coach Wetzel decides to use any subs. Doesn't look like anyone's warming up right now, but obviously he has great trust in these guys, and they know that, and so they'll take that to heart and look to really press for the final goal here.
Another throw by Torres, another good one, heading right into the middle of the box. They get ahead on it, but that one couldn't find the net. And it looked like it was Rabner there who was a little slow to get up, stretching out his legs, but hopefully he's all right. It was last touched by GA, so another Hun corner. Taking command of this game ever since the goal by Eli Torrey. As the kick heads out the back. And GA does a nice job getting that out. Venziali keeps it in bounds, looking to play it forward. Leon now. Through difficult play, and it'll be a kick now for GA.
Was that going the other way? Or, I don't know.
Not too sure here. It was Leon with the physical play, and now a card given to one of the Hun School players. Looked like that came after the original foul was called. Again, we apologize if we can't see who that is. It looked like it might be A.J. Torres. The numbers on the back of the Hun School jerseys blending in on their white uniforms. But after the yellow card, Lee will take the kick with under 17 minutes left to play in the second half.
Yeah, good opportunity here for GA to kind of flip it and do to Hun what Hun was doing to them and try to get the ball and keep it in their offensive half.
Lee with a high lob. GA can't get ahead on it. Rabner with an opportunity, but Isbrian leaped up to snatch that one away. Not a ton of punts today, but a good one there from Isbrian as Lipschitz having some trouble getting it past Masferducci. Eventually GA gets it up, but Hun regains possession.
Yeah, you've seen the punt. It's kind of starting to go by the wayside, especially with high school soccer. Guys And coaches emphasizing even more the ability of keepers to just roll it out and keep possession as opposed to kind of just, you know, booting the ball and throwing up a 50-50.
Both of these keepers have been tested so far today, both yielding 2 goals. One aside on penalty kicks. Wetzel off the left foot sent it out of bounds. The other important thing to think about is, do coaches want to risk kind of fatiguing some of their starters this early on in the season? Just again, the first regular season game for both of these teams, playing in some scrimmages, but this officially kind of kicked off the season, and both of the team starters have been out there for a long time. Good throw in from Hun. Wetzel headed it out. Took care of danger there, but Hun looks to send it right back in. As a good job by GA to send it along. Ball coming back in. Hun was able to get a little bit of their head on that, but it came right to Bouchard.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, like you mentioned before, it's, you know, Coach Wetzel this season, I mean, they've decided to win, and they've decided to win every game that they're in. And so, you know, I mean, seems like his mentality is, you know, we're not playing any games as tune-ups. We're not playing any games to kind of see what guys can do. We're going into every game like we're going to win it, and, you know, we're going to come out of this year with a better record than we've had in the past couple of years.
And the team has certainly embraced that. The guys are really hungry. This group of seniors was the freshman class when Wetzel first took over. GA loses the ball, and we got a whistle now along the far side. And it was Lee who was taken down. They're going to say it's a GA kick.
Well done by Lee there, just get his body in front. And, you know, especially offensive players, guys tend to, you know, when their defender has their body in front and stays in front of the ball for a long period of time, they usually tend to put their hands on him. And so well done by Lee there to draw the foul.
As some subs enter the game with under 14 left to play. Looks like Cole Snell along the far sideline.
First varsity appearance for him.
Snell, the sophomore, can play defense or midfield. Hun's going to try and send it right back in. A nice pass on a possible through ball here, but Bouchard scampers out of the net to make the grab.
Yeah, good line by GA right there. The runner making that run right there was most likely going to be offside, so well done for them to step up and keep their line strong right there.
Harrington also back out there for GA. Defender on the far sideline. So you get a big gust of wind there. Hun will look to turn and take it up the field. As we have a player taken down there, that's a member of the Hun school, and we get a whistle. And first yellow card of the day for GA now.
Yeah, that goes to number 5, the senior defender, Connor Wetzel, who we touched on a little bit before. And, you know, but sometimes, you know, Corey, there are such things as a good foul. And, you know, when he stepped up the first time, missed his tackle, and, you know, they had some numbers forward, their guys shuffling back. And so, you know, sometimes it's not always a horrible thing to take one for your team. So, you know, it obviously looked like a foul yellow card, but, you know, I'm sure he had a little bit of intention behind that.
Looked like that Heaton Thomas Sullivan was the member who was taken down for Hun. As Wetzel exits, and Jordan Lee comes back in to replace him.
Yeah, I believe this is just a rule that if you get a yellow card, you just have to sit out for a bit. So Wetzel should be right back in this game as soon as he can be.
We saw that with Torres. He got the yellow earlier for Hun. He had to sub out. So we'll see how the GA defense responds without one of their leaders on the field. First time today he's been off despite his injury. Some confusion over whose throwing it is, but ref is pointing up to GA, and just like that, Wetzel's going to come right back in. So GA wasting no time at all to put their senior captain back in along the defensive front. It is Rabner on the throw. He looked for Torrey, got a hand on it, and now it's Venziali looking to win a physical battle, but ended up coming back to Hun School. Aiden Spector played it back in the middle. As it's Snell into the game along the outside. Strauss in the middle finds Lipschitz, pressured by 2 Hun School players there. He lost the ball and then a shove in the back. And it'll be a kick for Hun. They quickly get rid of it, looking for Zhang. He's on sides, or is he? It doesn't look like he was.
Yeah, another good job right there by the line. Lee, Harrington, Wetzel, and Rabner all in a row. They stepped up when they saw the free kick, which is exactly what you want to do, and were able to catch him offside. So thwarted opportunity there for Hun.
Approaching our final 10 minutes in the second half. We're still knotted up at 2. The goal by Eli Torrey was the equalizer. It is Jacob Lee. Takes care of things with a good kick. Hun will send it right back in though. Bouchard controlling traffic, calls for it, now he'll try to send it up. Coach Rominger, the goal coach for GA, has done a nice job working with Bouchard at practice this week in anticipation that he would get the start today. Jojo Cava, who was cleared by the trainers to play today, just given some rest by Coach Wetzel. Don't want to risk re-injuring anything. Lipschitz, some nice moves along the far sideline. Showcasing his skill, it's Torrey, the goal scorer. Taken down, we play on. It comes right back to Lipschitz. Fakes the drive, he's going to take it into the center now. Center Rabiner stepping up, couldn't send it through. Hun was able to get a foot on it to move it back down.
Yeah, you mentioned just a second ago goalkeeper Bouchard's relationship with Coach Rominger, and they go way back. Bush started training with him when he was about 11 years old. They kind of played a little club together, and so they have a really good relationship, and that's only gotten stronger as he's come up through this GA system. And you know, it's not just luck that he's on the field right now, starting as a sophomore. You know, Rominger's clearly done a phenomenal job with him.
As GA gets a 6 after the Hun corner, it's important to note that Combs has been getting a rest along with Leon for the past few minutes for GA. Both of them just warmed back up and looks like they might be back into the game soon with just 8.5 minutes left to play. We're tied at 2. Lee takes care of the 6.
Yeah, right now would be a pretty probably an ideal time to get them back in. Obviously, you know, you gave them a little break, but you do want to give them enough time to be able to get their feet back under them and get a chance to score here.
Torrey was taken down from behind on the slide tackle. No calls there as Hun moves up with it, trying to switch field. Zhang's open, and he's on sides. Rabiner takes care of him. No call on the physical play. Wetzel now getting into it, trying to send it out of GA territory. Again, a shoulder on him. Still we play on. He's getting right back into his man, though, as Hun works it into the middle. As they send it all the way across. Hun doing a good job of switching the side of the fields as they stay on attack. Benziali intercepts the pass. Snell sets him up now as they fight for it along the sideline. This game looks like it's gotten pretty physical over the last few minutes.
Yeah, Wetzel doing a good job there. Originally got knocked off the ball, but you know, worked his tail off there to get it back. So he did his job in the end.
Combs and Leon back in. You know, we know this GA team, they may not intimidate many people in terms of their size, but just because they're not the biggest team on the field does not mean they'll shy away from playing a physical brand of soccer.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the way you have to play against a team like that. You can't be afraid because, you know, if you don't do stuff like Wetzel just did, they're going to think that they can just come in here and push it around. But, you know, you got to tell them that's not the case. And so far, GA's done a pretty good job of doing that so far.
Seems like for the most part the ref has done a nice job in letting these two teams play on through the physicality.
Yeah, absolutely. Just, you know, he brought out the couple cards when he needed to, but other than that, I mean, it's been well. He's called a pretty good game.
Yeah, we've had 2 yellow cards, 1 from both sides, and 2 penalty kicks, 1 for both sides as well. The kick for GA will come with just under 7 minutes left in this game. And they're going to send it back to Bouchard. Hun will pressure. It's Lee getting it from Bouch. Kick goes right to Hun. They bump it forward. And then Leone sent it back for Harrington to tee up forward. It comes to the GA midfield. Combs does a nice job to, that was Trabosh who did a nice job to hustle that ball. This time it's Combs showcasing the speed. Along the near sideline now is taking on 2 Hun School defenders, looking for an outlet. Played back to Wetzel. Defenders push up. It's just Wetzel and Lee back there. GA looking to get a goal on the header by Rabiner, but a save by Isbrian.
Great ball in there from Wetzel.
We've seen Rabiner push up from his normal defensive spot several times today. Got a great opportunity there. As you said, Mike, a great ball by Wetzel. He's going to be tested here. Hun School ahead. Wetzel shoves him off the ball, and Lee takes care of everything else.
Yeah, just now we got about just under 6 minutes to play here. It'd be interesting to see what GA and the Hun School, for that matter, do. Are they going to continue to play possession, try to press up? Seems like the Hun School are playing much more direct now. We'll see now if GA decides to do the same thing now, especially with Combs and Venziali back in there, guys with some speed.
Torres again, a long, high lobbing kick that almost went in the net. GA is saved once again. Torres has put so many balls in the box. As Venziali knocks a man over, a nice job by him, but his pass was intercepted by Hun. The loose ball found Torrey, who then finds Venziali. As it's now Trabosh behind the back looking for Combs, and he couldn't quite get to it. Took out his man, who was able to clear it, though.
Saw a little bit of that honey badger mentality there from Combs. When he can't get to the ball, he makes sure that the defender hears about it.
Absolutely not afraid to muscle around any guy. As we're going to have another yellow card. This time it's given to Eli Torrey. So after a pretty clean first half in which no cards were given, we've had a second half in which 3 have been handed out.
Typical to see that towards the end of the game, guys getting chippy, they're pressing for a goal, and so, normal that you'll see play start to heat up a little bit.
So with 4 minutes, another chance for Hun School. Nice kick, gets ahead on it, but it sails over the net. GA looking to send it into Hun territory. They got most of their starters out there now. And the big 3 forwards of Venziale, Combs, and Lipschitz, who've accounted for a lot of the offense here today, all back out on the field.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Core, but just for the viewers, this game, obviously if it's a tie, no overtime, no penalty kicks like that, we'll just end it 2-2. So even more the reason now for teams to press a little more.
Yeah, sun is setting here. Non-league game. Could certainly end as a tie. So you're going to see the massive running start that Torres takes to get this ball in the box, and he's going to do just that. GA's had to contest with these several times. They headed out of the box for a shot, and that one didn't make it to Bouchard. GA blocked it. Another great job by Trabosh to block the follow-up attempt. Venziali's been battling along that far sideline all day today, as it is now Lipschitz. F&M commit. They find it all the way over. Strauss has time, and his shot goes just wide.
Really great chance for Strauss there, and a phenomenal switch of the field on the far side of the field there by Lipschitz. He was able to not keep dribbling into multiple people, but pick his head up and switch the field to Combs, who then found Strauss, and phenomenal job, but just couldn't put away the opportunity.
Nearly a goal for GA with 2 minutes left in the game. Strauss had lots of room to work with. Got a hard shot off, but it went just wide. Probably best opportunity for GA since that Torrey goal on the penalty kick. As he'll come right back in now. And looks like Venziali's going to get a breather on the sideline. Both of these teams running out of time to pull ahead here. It's been a great game so far. Physical play, 4 goals in total. Couldn't have asked for a much better game. Leon's got an opportunity along the far side. He's going to slow things down. Play it down middle. Lipschitz going to get a shot off. Rabner shot. Rebound. They score! Christian Combs for the second time today. The GA captain comes up huge, and GA pulls ahead with 1:20 seconds left in this second half.
I mean, who else, right, Corey?
Who else?
It could not have been anyone else. He's always there when he needs to be. He's always in the right spot. Phenomenal job by Combs again. He's just he's up there for a reason, and that's what he does.
You could just kind of sense that one coming. Leon showcased some great moves to get it into the box of Hun School. Lipschitz, he tried to get a shot off, but kind of squirted through him where Rabiner had pinched up on a great job from the defense, got a shot off. Isbrian made the initial save. It kind of was sitting there. Very loose ball for GA, and Combs, as he normally does, finds the ball, and he's not going to miss an open shot like that. So 2 goals for the senior captain, Torrey the other one, and that adds up to a 3-2 GA advantage. A back and forth game certainly, as we are now in our final minute of play. As we have a whistle, GA will get a kick. Lee in no mood whatsoever to kick this ball quickly.
Yeah, of course, the time you check your shin guards, you tie your shoes once more before you kick the ball, and just let that time just slowly tick down.
Well, on our second ever GA Game of the Week and first ever Game of the Week live stream, we really couldn't have asked for a better game.
Absolutely, yeah, nail biter right down to the end of it. Great way for these guys to start their season, and many more games like this to come for them for sure.
Another opportunity. Combs getting loose again for the hat trick. He scores! Christian Combs has 3 on the first day of action. And that's the nail in the coffin there, folks. 16.8 seconds left to play, and Combs puts his group up by 2.
Yeah, that should just about do it right there. You don't, obviously never stop playing, never stop pressing. Combs clearly understood that, and, nothing wrong with a hat trick.
Could you ask for a better last opening day as a senior? 3 goals. He's been all over the field.
Yeah, scary to think. I mean, this kid, he's only getting started this season.
Yeah.
I mean, if this is the first game, who knows what's to come for him.
As the clock ticks down to 15 seconds. GA will move to 1-0 in the first game, Hun 0-1. These two teams just happy to get this game in, considering they only played 9 total last year. Is down to 1 second. The horn sounds, and that's how this one concludes. An absolutely brilliant game here today on the first ever Game of the Week live stream here at GA. 6 total goals, 4 by GA, 3 by Christian Combs, the senior captain, another by Eli Torrey on the penalty kick. And when everything's said and done, GA wins this one 4-2 on a beautiful Friday afternoon.
Yep, exactly what you want in the first game, Corey. Score 4 goals, play pretty solid defense. Obviously some things that they'll look at and try to clean up in practice, but overall a positive start for this team, and they'll look to continue and carry this momentum, especially into the season, and as they continue to get ready for it.
A great first game for the GA boys soccer team on this Friday afternoon. That does it for us here this afternoon. Thank you so much for tuning in. For Michael Von Zuben, my name is Corey Miller saying so long from Cary Stadium.